The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Kaufman Outdoors and The Porch in Wildwood.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. Happy Testament Tuesday. Welcome in to the Real Monica Adams Show. And thank you to Kaufman Outdoors in Sullivan and the Porch in Wildwood. We had such a fun shoot yesterday with Jan Kaufman. Jan is an incredible interior designer, and you're going to see our porch talk over the next few weeks. A lot of fun. In fact, we're going to challenge her to decorate a mantle in 2 minutes or less. That's coming up for you in a couple of weeks. Have you been in yet, by the way? Great place as you get ready to shop for the holidays. We're almost 3 months from Christmas, which is absolutely crazy. In fact, aren't we exactly? Yes, 3 months from Christmas. How is that possible? I don't even understand that. Oh, no, 4 months. 4 months from Christmas from today. It's still right around the corner. So if you haven't done your holiday shopping yet, you're not behind, but some people like to start early. So I'd love for you to go there. I'm talking about candles and jewelry and diaries, journals, and then, of course, all of the things you need for your home and your office. The Porch, if you haven't been, check them out, theporchwildwood.com. Thank you, Jan, for all you're doing for us. 16957 Manchester, by the way, is where they're located. Well, I hope you're having a great start to your morning. It felt okay. It was a little warm, a little humid when I stepped out this morning. We're going to give you the forecast. We've got some news you can use, and then we're going to get into Testament Tuesday. We're going to talk about faith and different seasons of your life. And, you know, it's interesting. Our guest, Bridgette Childress, she is reading a book that she read years ago, but when you read it in a different phase of your life, it hits a little bit different. She's getting ready to be an empty nester. I think a lot of you can relate to that. What does that mean to you? Are you sad about it? Are you excited about it? Feel free to weigh in. See yourself in today's story. It's going to be a fun one for sure. So let's get underway. First, starting off with weather. As I mentioned, it is already a little sticky, a little warm. At least that's what I felt here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you are in a different area, of course, let us know what it's like where you are. For us today, 86 for a high. We are starting to see ramping back up from a temperature standpoint. Tomorrow, we do have a slight chance of a rain shower or storm. 90, though, for the high tomorrow. Thursday is 86, and so is Friday. Pretty much sunny, and then all the way into the weekend, we start to get warmer. 89 on Saturday, Sunday 94, and Monday 95. So summer has its grip on us. It's not letting go just yet. Tuesday, a slight chance of rain, a high of 93. Not a lot of rain chances, so you might need to turn the hoses on and start watering a little bit more. 91 on Wednesday, and then next Thursday, a 20% chance of rain and a high of 88. The lows, by the way, will be in the low to mid 70s. So that's the forecast for those that are in our St. Louis, Missouri or the Southern Illinois area. We continue with the weather theme. So I always love whenever we find full eclipse or partial. Well, that's what we're going to look for now. Coming up into Thursday and Friday, that is when you want to be looking to the skies. The 96% blood moon. This one's going to be pretty, folks. After being shut out of this month's total solar eclipse, the Americas will have the best seats in the celestial house when Earth's shadow briefly envelops the moon. So it's the moon's turn to pull the disappearing act. Almost the entire lunar surface will be masked Thursday night into Friday, a whopping 96%, making it an especially deep partial eclipse. The moon's already in the spotlight. NASA sent the Artemis 2 astronauts on a record-breaking lunar flyby back in April, the prelude to eventually landing on the surface and building a base swarming with people and robots over the next several years. It's the second act of the greatest show in the solar system, coming just a couple of weeks after a total solar eclipse paraded through Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. So nearly 1 billion people in the U.S., Canada, and Central and South America will have front row views for the entire eclipse. More than 3 billion people will be in position to catch at least part of it. And again, as we're mentioning, Thursday night into Friday. In fact, the next complete lunar blackout will not be until New Year's Eve 2028. even with Asia and Australia at center stage, and then 2029 before stargazers across North and South America are treated to another full eclipse of the moon. The eclipse, by the way, will be peaking just after 11 p.m. our time, or if you're in the Eastern time zone, it will be just after midnight. So again, we're letting you know, don't forget about that, Thursday night going into Friday. All right, that's the weather aspect. This time, I said it to Zach this morning, and immediately I was like, oh, this is so sad. Again, we don't like to do negative news, but we absolutely want to be aware of what's going on in our world. And this one, for those that live on the Illinois side, we are sending remembrances and thoughts and prayers to our Belleville police chief, dying at a very young age. He passed away at the age of 49. The department announced after 4:30 p.m. on Monday that Belleville Police Chief Matthew Eiskant passed away after a battle with cancer. A Belleville native, he graduated from Belleville East High School back in 1995 before he went to the Southwestern Illinois College Police Academy. He also held a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and sociology, master's in criminal justice from Lindenwood University, and a graduate of the FBI National Academy, Season 257. He joined the Belleville Police Department in 2001. Funeral arrangements will be announced once they are finalized. Once again, rest in peace, sir, and thank you for your service. And the same goes out to the oldest Marine. We say Semper Fi one final time. The oldest Marine in the United States, passing away at the age of 106. Roy Drinkard was a World War II veteran born in Alabama on July 20th, 1920. Close friends and family said there was nothing he couldn't do. After joining the war, he came back to the area and joined the Flying 50s in Coleman, which recruited businesses to the area. He was inducted into the Coleman Veterans Hall of Fame. He had a connection with Troy University, spent years on its board of trustees. Troy officials announced they would name a building after him. Many state leaders also sharing their condolences with the family. In the words of the Marines hymn, Mr. Drinkard is now guarding the streets of heaven. Join me in praying for his family and the many who loved him. Incredible. Thank you again, as we said, for your service. Well, these are the stories that we definitely say are news you can use. You want to watch out for scams. This woman is telling her story in the hopes that this doesn't happen to you. She lost $35,000 in a jury duty phone scam. An Arizona woman speaking out, her name Christine, only identified by her first name, receiving a phone call from a man identifying himself as Lieutenant Mark Newman. And this is what the caller said. You're speaking with Lieutenant Mark, first name Mark, last name Newman. And then Christine said it sounded so realistic. The man wasn't a police officer. He told her she had missed jury duty and had to pay citations to avoid jail. She said if I paid the citations, which they were trying to give me, failure to appear in court and contempt of court, if I paid those, then the judge would dismiss the case. Well, Christine said she was told to meet a bond agent and pay thousands of dollars. That amount kept growing. She was eventually directed to stop at 4 banks to collect cash. And her comment was, and they said, it's not a big deal. You'll get it back. Just go to the bank. The caller claimed to track her movements, kept tabs on her the entire time. She said they followed her car. They tracked the mileage. She said, I had to keep telling them where I was and how much I had gone. A real court or law enforcement agency will never demand immediate cash, payment apps, gift cards, or secrecy over the phone. Don't call a number that they gave you. Call the number that you know to the police department. These things, folks, unfortunately happen to way too many people. And I know we many times say that they scam our seniors. But look, we know people of all ages are duped into this, and it's getting scarier and scarier as we talk about deep fakes, things that appear to be real to you. You're scrolling social media, you click on them, and it takes you into so many different levels. So just watch, be very careful, be a little bit more diligent, and again, learn from these stories. Well, the U.S. is now set for the largest mass visa revocation in history, targeting up to 200,000 foreigners. Unless challenged or revised, the State Department is expected to announce in the coming weeks the revocation of so-called B1 and B2 visas issued between 2016 and 2026, whose holders have sought asylum or are now seeking that, according to State Department documents that were obtained by the Associated Press and 2 U.S. officials. The action will be taken in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. Well, now they are raising the level of concern for our eggs even higher. So as you're making breakfast this morning, I want to stop you in your tracks and I want you to go open up your refrigerator and tell me if you have these. The FDA upgrades their massive egg recall to the highest highest risk warning over salmonella concerns. It involves more than 1.5 million dozen white and brown cage-free eggs. The new Class 1 designation means there's a reasonable possibility that exposure could cause serious health consequences or even death. At least 98 people in 17 states have already been sickened. 26 people have been hospitalized. Now, the eggs were distributed by Midwest Poultry Services, shipped to retailers and food service locations in 6 states, and those are Mississippi, New Mexico, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. They were sold under brands including Kroger, Brookshire's, Simple Truth, Country Morning, Sun-Ups, and other small retailers. The Brookside Brothers, based in Texas, not impacted by the recall. It does not receive eggs from Midwest Poultry. The eggs have best buy or sell by dates between July 20th and August 17th. They also have an identifying code that's printed on the side of the carton. For a list of the exact codes included in the recall, I've got a link for you. I'm going to drop in from the FDA's website so you can check directly. So as I mentioned, this is not something to take lightly. We will continue to follow that if it pops up in the news for you again, but kind of scary that is some of these things that we all believe would disappear because they got a handle on it, right? We've been talking about cyclosporasis. This still is around in the news, and that's going to come up actually in just a couple of stories as Taco Bell is trying to recover from the loss of sales. Let's start though with this. Target is apologizing for an offensive Halloween costume after receiving a ton of backlash on this. Target's had a lot of problems in the last several years. This is now the latest in a series of reputational blows that have undercut sales. You remember back in 2023, the handling of the Pride collection to its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies after President Trump returned to the White House. They joined a broad corporate retreat after Trump issued a series of executive orders aimed at eliminating illegal DEI. Now, shoppers are expressing new disappointment in the Minneapolis-based retailer they once affectionately called Target. So Target, you really don't have anyone left in Minneapolis, they say. Hey, that's racist. You all cut DEI and now you've cut a minstrel clown costume for kids on your website. That's what one user said on Threads. Target, which has seen 2 resurgent straight quarters under their new CEO, pledged to do much better. And you can see right there on your screen, that is the costume. It was called Kids Glows under Blacklight Circus Clown Halloween Costume Bodysuit. Bodysuit. However, many people are saying that it looks blackface, and they're saying that it is racist. So they have pulled it. They said that they can do better. Now, I told you Taco Bell was going to come back into the news. We know a lot of the problems when we were talking about cyclosporasis was the lettuce, and then it was also traced back to Taco Bell. They've been struggling, so now here's how they're trying to recover. They are going to bring you $2 burritos. Yum Brands owned Taco Bell, doing what they can to cook up better financial results. On July 15th, they said that it had removed certain ingredients from select locations. The ingredients temporarily pulled from some of those restaurants included their lettuce, their cilantro, their onions, the pico de gallo, guacamole as well. So their current quarter opened strong, tracking with sales up 8% to 9% before the cyclosporasis issue hit on July 16th. So here's what they're doing. They're staying nimble by holding $3 burritos longer than planned, bringing $2 chicken burritos at year-end, and putting more excitement into the $5, $7, and $9 Lux Value Box tier. So here's my question. Did it alter you in going to Taco Bell at all, or did you just keep going to get some of your favorites, or you're a little frustrated and scared to go to Taco Bell? When we get these recalls, again, I'm just wondering if it does affect you to that level. All right, I love this. This is my favorite story of the day. A high school football team finally snapping, folks, a 101-game losing streak, the longest in the nation. This is out of Huntsville, Alabama. The high school football team had 101 straight losses. Columbia High's Eagles faced Greensboro High's Raiders in a rare game on Saturday night. They went into the game a losing streak of 101 games, the longest in the nation. Their last win was in 2015. They made it through the 25 season with just 28 players. That's about half what the competition has. This year, they're working with a full 60-person roster. The final score, by the way, 41-14. Just like that, the Eagles were winners once again. The Cardinals, however, were not. The Cardinals lost yesterday. The final was 6-4. The Phillies, unfortunately, beating our Cards. So now it's the Baltimore Orioles coming to St. Louis, playing playing our cards. First pitch will be at 6:45. All right, in our National Day of calendar, National Banana Split Day, Kiss and Make Up Day, National Park Service Founders Day. It is Secondhand Wardrobe Day, so hit those resale shops. Also, National Whiskey Sour Day, and some of the ongoing national weeks: Be Kind to Humankind Week, National Composites Week, and if you didn't know, we've been talking about National, of course, Back to School Month. It's National Dog Month, National Wellness Month, and I will say, with regards to your doggies, tomorrow is National Dog Day, so I'm giving you 24 hours notice to do something special, a little extra special for your babies. There you go, all up to date in the news you can use. I'll take a look at your comments and all of your good mornings. One fell swoop to all of you. I love our Tuesdays. It's time to talk a little faith. Testament Tuesday. Bridgette Childress from Childress Legal Nurse Consulting. She's coming in to talk about a different season of her life, how that hits, and what does it mean when you talk about empty nester? Does that bring sad emotions or happy ones or somewhere in between? We're going to talk about all of that with Bridgette when we return. Special thanks to all of our sponsors, and that list, by the way, keeps growing. Defiance Ridge Vineyards, Dot Fleshman Realty, Garden View Care Centers, Exist Stretch, Fenton Family Dentistry, Spas and More, JG Optimal Wellness, Childress Legal Nurse Consulting, The Porch in Wildwood, Kaufman Outdoors, Dr. James Clarkson, R.A. Ginner Plumbing, The E-Step Law Firm, Aura House, the Aura Scent Diffuser, and your name can be on this list. Just reach out to me at info@therealmonicaadams.com. And we love our Testament Tuesdays, by the way. If you are just tuning in, maybe you're brand new to the show, we have at the end of the show devotionals that we read from. And then about 3-4 months ago, we decided let's do another level. Let's bring in Testament Tuesday, brought to you by our friends at Childress Legal Nurse Consulting. That's Bridgette Childress. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. And by the way, don't think that I'm on fire. This, I just turned on. We were sitting here talking about, Bridgette just said, do you have a new scent in the studio? Yes, we've been talking about Aura House, which this is a cold air diffuser.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the smell of Dubai. You have to tell me after the show because she's now the guest on the show.
Okay.
I switched it out. We normally had candles in here, but this is safer for us. Okay. Right, because a lot of people don't like the toxic aspect of what they're maybe taking in from candles.
The soot or what,
Correct, or the wax and different things like that.
Yeah.
But this is good for our pets because it's National Dog Day tomorrow. And so I started changing things out. But yeah, this is all,
it.
See
Yes,
it?
I do.
Yeah, it looks like we're on fire. You all may not, but it's a cold air diffuser. So if you've been looking, and it's clean. I mean, I think it's perfect for our set, for our colors. You can just turn it on and off, or you schedule it on an app.
I thought it was a water bottle.
This is my water bottle. Let me drink from it. No, Aura House, which, by the way, we have a code if you want to go and get one of these for your house or your office or whatever. It's super cool, and it's healthier for you. So you type in Real Monica 10.
Okay.
And you get a discount from it. Yeah, there it is on the screen, by the way. So,
great.
So if you want to bring those luxury resort smells, and you all know what I'm talking about. Like you walk into the W Hotel or the Four Seasons or the Ritz, and you're like, oh, I want to bring that back. For me, it's Grand Solmar in Cabo that has this amazing scent, and they have one, and it's called Coast, and it smells just like it.
Oh, wow.
I know, you want one now, don't you?
I do. You know what I also want to do? Just as a side note, you said Four Seasons or Ritz. Did you know both of those have a yacht or a cruise?
I do. I've seen that.
Girl,
I know. Yeah. All of you Monica's Maniacs, we all need to pitch in together to afford that one.
Hey, that could be a mobile Monica.
Absolutely, on the Ritz yacht. I like that. I like how you think. How have you been, by the way?
Really well, thanks. Yeah, really
Well,
good.
you look
Yeah.
great. So I changed clothes this morning, and I'm sitting here laughing, going, had I not, we would have almost been twinsies.
Really?
I had light blue on, but it had like kind of lace.
The lacy,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I switched. Oh, well. Anyway, so today, I love the story that she's going to tell because a lot of you may feel, oh my gosh, I know exactly what Bridgette is talking about, the changing of the seasons. So I know you're going to almost be an empty nester. When does that
Yes.
happen for you?
Yes. So Adam is a senior this year, and
Okay.
he is the only one left at the house. So we've got one more year. And he probably will go to the community college. He'll
Okay.
probably stay at home. But just the idea, he bought his first car.
Oh.
We don't hardly see him anymore. And so it's different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of times people will hear empty nester, and depending on who I'm talking to, I have some that are all excited about it, and then there are others that are extremely sad about it.
Yes.
So you have some time to get ready for it.
Yes.
Right now, how are your emotions feeling?
I'm excited. Like I told you in what I had sent you, it's like I'm looking at this as, first of all, like, Bill and I have done our job, right? And our kids are doing great. And there was a time that they maybe weren't, but this, I'm looking forward to it. It's a not an empty space, but a new space.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it's interesting because one of my best friends, she just took her son a couple of weeks ago to college, and she said that he started tearing up as
He did?
He did, right?
Aw.
So he tears up, and I'm like, oh, then you must have just been bawling. And she goes, no. And I kept thinking, am I heartless?
No.
But she said the exact same thing
Yeah.
that you just said, which was, no, my husband and I feel that we did our job raising him to be a good human being.
Yes.
And now we're looking forward to seeing what happens.
Exactly. And I what really got me thinking about this, I saw a friend, same thing. She was taking her son to college, and she's like, I don't look at it as empty nester too. She goes, I look at it as I'm a bird launcher.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, that's
bird
great.
launcher.
A bird launcher. Go fly. So
Get out of the nest.
And it's fun to watch them grow. We have two actual adult children, and there was a gap between the three kids, and so Corey and Haley, it's really neat to see your adult children living their lives.
Sure. The ages of your children are?
Corey's 20, he'll be 28 in October. Haley will be 25 next week.
And then
Adam
18?
is 17.
17.
Yeah.
Folks, again, if you're just tuning in, if you haven't seen Bridgette, by the way, Bridgette is a nurse, and we'll talk about that as well, and this really cool book that she's writing, Bridgette Childress with Childress Legal Nurse Consulting. So she's been a nurse for a long, long time, and about a year plus ago, it was very much on her heart to say, I just really want to help on another level. She's already a healer, but I want to help on another level, and I want to team up with attorneys and make sense of the chaos of the medical records. So instead of you going through all that, which is a lot of stress, by the way, thank God for her, she takes on the stress. You got
Yes.
strong shoulders for this.
Well, thanks. Yeah, and it's, I think just as nurses or people in the medical field anyway, that's just ingrained maybe in us, or is a natural part of who we are in wanting to help other people.
Absolutely. So Childress Legal Nurse Consulting, again, childresslnc.com. I mentioned this, so we'll go into it a little bit here. You also, about a month or so ago, you were writing me and saying, I think I want to do another thing for all of the sisterhood or brotherhood that's in nursing.
Yes, yes. And, reading your book that you did, the anthology, that was really, I think, probably the inspiration or the spark. I'm like, oh, you know what? Because so many of us need or have a story and a voice, and to be able to have those chunks of chapters, to have so many tell their story, was kind of where that came from.
So you got together with several nurses who you wanted, right?
Yeah, so it's still in the process. We actually have our onboarding call tomorrow night with the publisher.
Oh,
so
exciting.
it's going. It's being birthed.
Whether you like it
being
or not.
birthed, yeah.
And so how many nurses will be telling their stories?
I'm hoping to have 39.
Didn't you say there were several that are like, yes?
26.
26 came forward immediately?
Yes. And nurses of all, flight nurses, hospice nurses, all different specialties.
Visiting
and
nurses, the travel nurses
Yes,
also?
yes. And some of their stories are their personal stories. Some of it has to do with, their nursing career. So I'm kind of letting them tell their story.
Sure.
So yeah.
And it's going to be called? Are you still working with the title?
No, I would love for it. I mean, it might be tweaked, but it's The Heart of Nursing, Compassion, Courage, and Advocacy.
Oh, I love it. Oh, you just gave me a chill.
Yeah.
The Heart of Nursing, Compassion, Courage, and Advocacy?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the time frame that they tell you that from the meeting tomorrow night to finally getting it in our hands and you coming back on the show and we talk about your book? What is that time frame?
So my goal was to have it done because of the title being The Heart of Nursing. I really wanted it to launch in February. The publisher is saying, "Oh, that might be tight."
That's tight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to think because I know you reached out to me and asked, okay, Monica, what was the process? How long did it take? And it did seem at the end, suddenly we were like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we've got this
Bam.
event. Yes,
Yeah.
but I think it was, don't quote me on this, it may have been about 10 months.
Yeah. So
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, probably later spring, maybe early summer.
So an anthology, and we're seeing a lot of that, by the way, because we all pull our voices together. And I had been asked many, many times over the years, and I kept going, no, no, no. And then I finally said yes for the It's About Time book, which I loved. And that really, I guess I'm not going to be kept to it because I know how long it takes. I said in that I would release my own book.
Yes.
It's not happening. There's no way it's happening unless,
No.
I got what? I have less than 4 months left.
Well, I mean, but to say that it's not happening.
No, but I said it would happen by the end of this year.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Okay.
see that happening. But I have to make it happen.
You would have to go recluse somewhere and just write.
Right? Oh, that's okay. Let me go on an island. Let me go on that yacht we were talking about. Folks, again, if you're just tuning in, this is her telling her story that I know a lot of you will feel very connected to. So, Brave Enough for the Next Chapter. That's the title that you're seeing in the what we wrote up today. You just started reading 100 Days to Brave by Annie F. Downs again. When was the first time you read it?
So 2019. So my mom and I bought the book, two of them for her and me. We read it together. She was diagnosed in 2018 with lung cancer, and so like I told you before, like it's the same book, it's the same words, but I'm in a different place, and so I'm kind of seeing it differently. At the time that I read it originally, I was reading it for strength and to get through, to help and myself, but her to get through her illness.
Sure.
So.
What you took back in 2019, what did the book speak to you about then that you're feeling different about now?
Then was so much really leaning on, in my weakness and vulnerability, leaning on God. And not to say that I'm not now, because certainly that is everything that I am. But to know that I feel stronger. I feel in reading this now, it's okay, what's next?
Right.
And to take a step into something that is, one, not known. I've never done anything with a book or, a business. So these are all new things that require probably some courage and bravery, and again, leaning on and trusting God in the process. And that, there's, until there is no more breath in my body, I have a purpose, and each season of my life is a different purpose.
Absolutely. And I, in my life coaching, I ask that question to people a lot. And it's very hard when I say, what's your purpose in life? And I don't say, what's your purpose today or this week or this month? It is lifelong.
Yeah.
What do you feel is your purpose? Because we all have one. We were born with one. Yes, it may have changed in the roads that we travel on, the seasons that we're in. It may look a little bit different. But when someone's able to actually answer that question, it is one of the most powerful things. And as I mentioned, it may evolve into something else. Or you may say, this is purpose, but now it's grown even more.
Right.
So you talk about that a little bit, about from a purpose standpoint.
Yes.
Have I ever asked you that before, what you think your purpose is?
Probably, I'm sure.
And your answer is?
My purpose is, an overall umbrella would be to have other people see Christ in me, but to also then help others see that in themselves. So I just, I love encouraging, I love community, and I think that's what's exciting about this new season that I'm going into, is that I have found joy in that again.
And that's a powerful thing to do. Again,
Yeah.
when you look at a book, some of you may have one and then you pass it on to somebody and say, this is such a great book. Here, maybe you say, borrow it and please give it back. And
Yeah.
then you don't ever get it back. But there are books that I always feel are a resource guide to put up on a shelf and pick back up in certain points of your life. And for you, you're saying this one,
Yeah.
right? So if you've never read it, which I have not, and I love to be introduced to new books, 100 Days to Brave, again, Annie Downs. So Bridgette had read it back in 2019, again, during that time.
Yeah.
She's got it in here. We're actually going, you read from this each day?
I do, yeah. So like the first day was July 8th, 2019.
Okay.
And so I write down can I just read this real
Please,
quick here?
yes.
Yeah. So the very first day, and I don't need these because it's too far away. It's good. The scripture in this day is Isaiah 41 verse 13. For I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you. That spoke to me right there in that I am a child of God and he holds my hand, right? You think about when you're holding, your children, your nieces, your nephew's hand crossing a street, like you don't rely on them holding your hand because they're a little kid. They're going to run off. You're going to hold their hand
And you're guiding them.
to guide them.
And there's a trust factor.
Yes. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're going to read another one for us at the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she reads from these, and she said, I just realized that I didn't read today. Can we read from that at the end instead of our 100 Days to Freedom books? And absolutely. But I love the fact that it's always these 100 days. I wonder why that is. Like we do not, we're wrapping up a
I don't know.
90-day challenge, but
'Cause,
this
yeah,
is
those
100.
are-
These are all 100 days, and you've got 100 days being brave.
Now I'm going to look into that.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more about your purpose-driven life, more about the seasons that you're in, bravery, being scared. The emotions are great. Let the emotions come out. That's the other
Yes.
thing, right?
Yeah.
People have a tendency to want to just kind of stop the emotion because they don't know what's at the other end of that,
Right.
or what's waiting there for them. So, by the way, feel free to drop in some comments, any aha moments. If you're going through these seasons with Bridgette, do you have any advice for her? What she's getting ready to see here in the next year play out with her son? It's exciting, but it could be very emotional for you as well, and that's okay. All right, more with Bridgette when we return. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with the Real Monica Adams Show. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com. We want to thank each and every person that makes this show possible. Our growing list of incredible sponsors, which include Garden View. We were just there at their O'Fallon location. Cannot wait for them to be on. Next week, by the way, we're going to be talking about therapy and many levels of that. Bridgette's shaking her head like she sees it, right? The occupational therapy, the physical therapy, so many levels of what it does. Obviously, we think about the body, but it's also the mind and it's the spirit as well. The activities that they do make me so happy. And this is the thing. I mean, Bridgette and I can probably remember back when we were kids and you heard the word nursing home and it used to be, oh, sad. No, not at all. Garden View Care Centers is amazing. We've been into all of the locations, and every single time we just see the big smiles. They tell us about all the activities or maybe the field trips that they do. If you haven't toured one of their locations, please do so. GardenViewCares.com. And then the locations are in O'Fallon, Missouri, in the Doherty Ferry area, as well as in Chesterfield. And again, it's important to take the tour, put your name on the list so that when it comes time to have a deep discussion about yourself or maybe a family member, that you're not scrambling to try to get in somewhere. So we love you, Garden View. Can't wait to have you on next week. All right, welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show, Testament Tuesday. Bridgette Childress with Childress Legal Nurse Consulting, telling her own story and the many levels of emotions that you go through. Rose said, good morning, Bridgette. I met you at one of the mobile Monicas. You were so nice. Talked to me as if you knew me forever, but I did
Hi,
not
Rose.
know who she was.
Oh, yeah.
I think you came to...
It was over in
Oh, it was Mary Tuttle's.
Yes.
The one in Chesterfield. Yes. So, Rose, thank you for watching. Good morning from Florida. Oh, I love it. I love it when you take us with you on vacation. Sunny start to the day. It is, right? But sometimes, and this is what we're talking about with regards to emotions and regards to seasons of our lives, things have a tendency to change and they can pull us in so many different directions. And that's where, as Bridgette mentioned, she leans in on God and says, You've talked, I love this. She's been very open and very raw and real with us of emotions that she's gone through in struggles of life. But it's hard to say, how do I see myself out of there, right? For some, they struggle with the idea of the identity being parenting.
Yes.
And so their idea of what you're mentioning today of empty nest syndrome sometimes divides marriages.
It really does. I do remember both my parents told me one time that, you know what, it at the end of the day, at the end of all those years, it's going to be you and your spouse. And I know as parents, we want to make it the kids, but yeah, it can, and the lines get blurred.
Absolutely. Well, and speaking of this, and I was kind of walk through this. You provided us some beautiful pictures as we look through family, and you look over the years from when they were young to maybe mid grade school, high school, as we mentioned, in towards college, getting married, all these emotions that happen, and so you see yourself in all of these pictures that we go through.
Oh, yeah.
As you walk through these, give me the emotions that happen, because so much has happened in so many seasons of your life.
Yeah, we were at a wedding at that little one. He did not want to dance. And I remember, it's so funny how like photos or songs can just make you remember. So that's my oldest one there, Corey. So I think he was probably about 3 at that age. And then, our Justin Bieber concert, me and Haley, that was so much fun. That was,
I love when you take a child to a concert and they're so in it and you're like, this music. And then we remember back of our parents doing the same thing to us, right? It's their seasons.
I know. I forget. We were at some kind of conference and, glow paint on our faces. And it was just experiencing the joy of, as adults, we may be like, oh my gosh, this is so like ridiculous. But when your kid's like, come on, do this with me. And you're like, okay.
And what I want to do is we can just kind of, Zach, you can just filter through them and just let everybody see
She
these.
was in a little production at church there. She was in, The Beauty and the Beast.
Well, so as you look at these, though, one of the things that I want you all to think about, I want you to see your own kids, your own grandkids, your own nieces and nephews, because here's the thing. You just mentioned something very important. When the kids are asking you to do something and you think, ugh, you 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years down the line would give anything to go back to that moment.
Yes.
Would you not?
Absolutely. There she is. Oh, my little Haley girl. We recently, me and Haley and her 2 daughters, just the 4 girls, we went on there she was, the horse. She loved horses. She loved animals. She still does. She would tell you differently, but cats are her thing now. But yeah. We were at another conference, something there. And I loved, the last thing we had, and Tracy was in with us. And I loved, she brought Ziggy, her son. And Tracy does that. And I loved bringing the kids wherever I could with me. Looking back now, I wish I would have done it more.
Absolutely.
Because just like a lot of times people will separate or like compartmentalize God in their life, like, no, bring God into your work. Bring him everywhere in your life. And of course, there's a time and place for your kids, but let them see what you're doing.
Right.
Let that be the example. And also then they might be more interested in what you're doing.
Well, and they're inquisitive. They'll ask questions. They're little sponges, as we always are saying, that they're absorbing everything. You say a cuss word, they're going to say it, and you'll be like, where'd you get that from? Well, obviously from you.
Oh, yes. Been there, done that.
It's all right. You get embarrassed, then you laugh about it, and every other parent goes, it happens to us as well.
Yes.
At some point, that little voice, I think one of the funniest things you all want to laugh today, if you're in a down place, I want you to just type in, excuse my language for a second, type in, what the hell dachshunds? Okay? They're using dachshunds like crazy, but it's
a dog dachshunds?
Dachshunds, yes.
Oh, okay.
So they're using the dachshund, but it is clearly the voice of a little kid who says that phrase, and then at one point you hear the mom say, stop it. Don't say that. And then says it again and again and again and again. And then she laughs and stop saying that, right? But they use it with dachshunds. And so like the dachshund might be in the tub. What the hell? And it's like a little Southern voice.
Oh my gosh.
It's hilarious.
I'm going to look that
if
up
you want to
now.
laugh. But all I kept thinking in it is, first of all, I have a dachshund mix. And so I laugh at that. But I laugh at it going, I just wish I could see the actual video of the
face.
mom, and whether it's a little girl or a little boy saying it. And then how many of you parents have tried to reprimand your child and you can't stop laughing?
Right.
Which then makes the kid do it more, which is what happens in this, by the
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
So those are the seasons that you laugh at. Of course, in the moment, you're embarrassed. Maybe it's out in public that's happening. But then you go back and you tell those stories. Hey, remember when, or you don't know this, but let me just tell you something that you did.
Yes.
Seasons of life. You know, you talk about the bravery aspect. Are you brave enough for the next chapter? When you look at your next chapter, again, beyond your son, graduating from high school, going into community college, but maybe not being around as much, and you look at it for you and your husband, and you look at your next chapter. If you could paint that picture right now before you get to it next year, what does it look like?
Of having,
What do you think your chapter looks like next year? 1 year from now, 5 years from now? As you paint that, what does it look like to you? Because this is for everybody, right?
That's a good question. I think, well, you know, Bill and I have started even now kind of like dating more. So
see?
really, yeah.
What do your dates look like?
Oh, just pool time.
Which
Which
is being in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not, you know, extravagant dinners or anything like that. It's just, and when I say that we date, you know, it's being together.
Yeah.
So,
Being now look, you all know I got a hot tub, and that has made me slow down.
Has it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually had a picture the other day. Well, actually, it's my cover photo now that has to do with the Bible that I picked up. And I had that open, and you could see the bubbling of the water as I was in there. So it's also bringing in elements of life.
Yes.
So sitting within water, and then
the
being out in
living- yes,
nature.
and the living water.
Right?
Yeah.
And then reading. Again, picking up and reading scripture in a different way. It's the
Yes.
same thing that you're saying about reading this book now. So it is, what is the season of life that we're in right now when we're taking in God's words?
Exactly. Well, and so, you know, going back to your question, like, I really would love to also see different parts of the country. So
Which you're
traveling-
afforded now.
Yes.
Because the kids are doing their thing. Maybe you invite them along on a family vacation, or it's you and Bill and traveling together.
Yeah, we have actually. My sister and I, her and her husband, and then Bill and I, we took a condo for a month in Florida for March. We split it up, and Maggie's taking the first half of March, and we're taking the last half.
Oh, so you're going to have a couple of weeks each?
Yeah.
See, I heard somebody the other day, I was getting my nails done, and the couple sitting next to me, I just kept smiling, looking at them. First of all, just looking at them, you could clearly see how in love they were. And I look at people who are in their senior years, and I imagine who they were in their 20s and who they were when they first met their love. And you just asked me if I remembered my first kiss, because today is National Kiss and Make Up Day. I said it to you right away, didn't I? I think
You
we all
did.
can. I'm not going to
Yes.
say his name.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know. A lot of people do that, but he lived right up the street from me. And it's just funny to think back at those moments.
Yeah.
Now, there's other people that I dated. I can't remember their names, but I can remember my first kiss. Can you?
I can't remember his name, but I remember what he looks like.
It wasn't a memorable
wasn't.
kiss.
No.
Can you all go there, remember exactly where it was and just how innocent you were, but at the same time, it's like this, ooh, what did we just
Yes.
do, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you remember what grade you were in?
I think I was 8th grade. It was, I will say, I think it was, you remember Linda Carlo?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. I think she had it was a party, or, you know, a get together.
So it was at her party?
I think it was, yeah.
And you can't remember the guy's name, though?
No.
Mine was in 3rd grade.
Girl! Monica!
It started early. It was a very innocent one. I'd have to think a little bit deeper as to the first real one was probably not till freshman or
Okay, I
sophomore
was
year.
going to say probably, yeah. I mean, that was my first real one.
Okay,
Yeah.
but was there ever one like when you were younger? Again, he was right up the street from me, and I don't remember exactly why.
Yeah. Now that, I mean, when you put it that way, yes. And it was a little neighborhood boy.
See,
Yeah.
Then that was your first kiss. Then.
That was my first kiss.
the
yes.
real one that sparks like fireworks. Yes, that was for me. I think freshman year.
Yeah.
So isn't it fun? Again, we talk about seasons. We're all being real here. Okay, once again, the bravery aspect. And so when you were going through providing these pictures for us, by the way,
Yeah.
were you getting emotional? Were you looking back going, oh my, laughing, getting a little teary-eyed, saying, this is my walk of life as a parent.
Yes.
We did good.
Yes. I wasn't getting teary-eyed, but it was, I guess a little bit emotional in that, it's
That one makes me laugh.
Oh, yeah. And he's, and I always say, with Haley and Corey, they're from my first marriage. And so, a lot of people might experience that too. And so I really think God gave me Adam to maybe try and do it right. But even then, we don't do it.
Well, you learn from each
You
one,
do,
right? I mean,
yeah.
I always think I wasn't blessed with children, as you know, but I look at my mom and I hear stories about when she had my oldest brother, Brian, and
Mm-hmm.
then she has Craig, and all of our personalities are so very different, right?
Yes.
Craig was more quiet. He was the really quiet child. Brian, Brian was her handful, her first. And then me, I went through different stages. So the type A outgoing personality I am now, you may, what do you remember from me? Was I outgoing?
No.
See?
But see, I wasn't either. I was a very shy kid. And
So depending on which grade school person that I talk to, they say, are you kidding me? You were the class clown. You were hilarious, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, see, it just depends on where you met
Yeah.
me in my season.
Right.
I remember being in high school singing in choir, and I could not look at anyone. I would look like way over their heads, and my mom would go, Monica, you got to look at the crowd. And I'm like, no, I'm deathly afraid of this. Now take me to karaoke, and I'm a big ham.
right? Dancing with the stars and stuff.
But see, that's it. That's what we're discussing today is let yourself go through the seasons.
Yes.
But be very present as the seasons are happening.
Yes.
And then know
exactly.
what's moving through you at the time. Let's look at some comments here. So Sheila says, good morning, Bridget and Monica. Sheila, is it Struckmeyer? Do you know Sheila? I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
Hi, Sheila.
yeah?
Yes.
I was going to say, I don't know that name.
Yes.
But thank you for watching, Sheila. Come on back for more
Actually,
each
I want to
day.
introduce you to Sheila.
Please do.
Yes. Yeah.
For my aunt and all my cousins were there. I have third cousins now. Wow, I feel old. Mary Skaggs, hello. Mary
girl.
Shields. Thankful my dad took me on work trips with him.
Mm-hmm.
Special memories. See? And then as we go through the seasons that we're in now. Because we now, being the same age, we are through the season of caregiving.
Yes.
And now every discussion I have with almost every one of my girlfriends is we're taking care of a mom, of a dad, our mother-in-law, and a father-in-law. And it is, boy, we're helping each other in this season of life.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
maybe we weren't ready for, but we're thrown into it. For her, she's dealing with it with her own father and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard time. Rose said, I cried when my son left for college. I stood out in the street as he drove away. He loved how upset I was. He felt loved. Well,
Oh, that's true. I can see that, Rose, yeah.
Right, he's not making fun of her, but yeah, he can see that. Good morning, Julie.
Yes.
Hope you're having a good start to your day. So, again, seasons of this. When a full house starts getting quieter, though, right? So that's what we're discussing. So you say, for so many years, our lives are defined by what everyone else needs from us. You're raising children, you're working. Listen to this. You're building a career. Making dinner, but are you present in making the
Right.
dinner? Do you know these little mouths you're getting ready to feed and
Yes.
how they can see love, right? We always hear the best food is made with love.
Yes.
Right? You're solving problems, you're taking care of aging family members, you're taking care of patients, you in
Yeah.
particular, all of you in the nursing and medical field, you're making sure everybody else has what they need. And then one day you look around and realize they're growing up.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, wow, what, and you mentioned something about, seeing a couple and at one time they were in their 20s, because I remember, I love doing that, looking at whether it's my dad or, I remember when my mom was sick. It's like, like he was a little boy, she was a little girl, they had dreams, they had, we're people. Like we're not defined by just that's not my mom or that's not,
Right.
So yeah. And there's whatever's in your heart, I say follow it.
Yep.
and discover it. And okay, if that's not meant to be, then move on.
Don't you all have children, and they look at you as though you were never their age. They can't even imagine you anything else.
And this is the funny thing now is, if a song is playing and you start singing or dancing to it, they're like, you know that song? And it's like, that song was my high school era. And they're like, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or what's fun, my mom and I always do this where I'm like, Mom, I want you to hear this song. And then she'll hear it and go, and I'll say, it's a brand new song. And she's like, Monica, that is not. That is from this. What? And then you go back and you look at the origin of the song.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with movies, right? So I look at A Star is Born and didn't realize how many iterations there were of it. I always go back and think, oh, is there two? Because I always think
I thought there's just two.
Oh, no. I think there's at least three if there's not four.
Wow.
There's one from way, way, way many years ago. Then there's the one that I think about, which is Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
Exactly.
Yes.
I thought that was the original. It's not. There is one before that, at least. And we'll have to look it up. I think it's three. There could be four. Zach's going to look that up for me. But yes, I was like, oh, yeah, so the original with Barbra Streisand. And my mom's like, no, that's not the original. I'm like, is there anything original anymore?
No.
And then why?
You.
So not exactly. We're all real here. But when we go to Hollywood movies, it's all, can't you come up with new ideas? Why are we redoing and redoing and redoing? We have this discussion every day about a movie you fall in love with, and then the sequel comes out. And you're apprehensive to watch the sequel because the first one was so good, and you're like, please don't get it wrong.
Yeah. I don't know that I have a movie like that, though.
A movie that you liked the sequels?
Oh.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Like, for instance, there was a guest here the other day, and we were talking about My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which the original, that was never supposed to be as large as it was, was supposed to be just like this cult movie, turned into something massive. And it was, to me, the first one's always the best. It was hilarious. The second one wasn't too bad. The third one they got way wrong.
Oh,
have you seen the third one?
No.
Don't.
Okay. Don't waste your time.
But look at the movies and think about this. What do you think was a good sequel and that you're like, oh, Hollywood, you got it right? For me, Devil Wears Prada. I was so apprehensive after all these years for them to come out with two. Did you see it?
Yeah, Bill and
They're
I went and
both
saw
amazing.
It was amazing. We watched the first one at home, and then I said, they're coming out with the second one, and it was like that Friday coming out, and he was like, well, let's go see it.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's so many couples that went to see that, and then I have guy friends who said, Jim went and saw that with you, and I'm like, have you seen it? It's great.
Yeah.
So Devil Wears Prada and Devil Wears Prada 2. For me, that's it. I don't ever want to see, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Julia Roberts.
Pretty Woman.
Thank you.
No.
Please don't ever do anything else with that one.
I can't see that.
I can't either. But you think about these, how do you go wrong with Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway and Stanley Tucci? I mean, that cast was so amazing.
Well, and what I just saw was, the two sisters who are witches. It's just coming out.
It's coming out in October, right?
Yeah, what is that? I don't know. I'll look it up.
I know. This is what happens when we get to this age, Bridget. I just said it actually a week or so ago. I told somebody that was coming out again.
Magic. Practical Magic.
Practical Magic.
Yes.
Thank you. I was like, help us with this. You know where your brains are in the same spot that ours is.
Yeah.
Okay, Zach, how many? 4. I thought so. There's 4. A Star is Born.
Really?
1937 was the very first one with Janet Gaynor, and then 1954. Yes, I knew there was a Judy Garland one. I thought so. So there's 4 folks. When you think that the Barbra Streisand one in 1976 was the first, it was not. But which one is your favorite? I really am a huge Bradley Cooper fan. So
I was going to say this current one, because I truly didn't even see the one with Barbra Streisand.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I did. That's because I used to always love that movie. And I thought it was very, very good.
Okay.
But I was so impressed with Lady Gaga's performance.
Yeah.
When that first came out as a trailer, I remember being at Channel 2 and my friend Glenn over there said, do you know who this is?
She's very talented.
Well, she is, but you were looking at it and
Yes.
she didn't look like herself.
Yes.
And then I'm like, no. And he goes, that's Gaga. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, but Bradley Cooper, come on. He's so handsome.
Right.
Rose, my hubby is so quiet, but he heard you say My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, and he said it's terrible. I told you, don't go see it. Okay, so again, bravery and seasons of life. So as we mentioned, they're growing up, right? They don't need you in quite the same way anymore. So as we look through these pictures, for some, there's grief when you look back, and also at the fact that when you look back at pictures, sometimes certain people are not around anymore. Then those emotions are sparked.
Yeah.
She said, these people who needed so much of you helped to find the rhythm of your life. Suddenly there is space. And she said, I've been thinking a lot about the phrase empty nest, because the word empty empty.
means nothing.
Right.
Like,
So how do you say, if you look at empty nest, what do you define it as?
I just find empty nest as, that there's something missing. And it's not that they're missing, there's just, and I said this just before, is that now there's room to fill with more, and not just to fill it with nothings, right? Not just to fill the space, but to fill it with truly, whether it's something with me and Bill or just me. I love theater. I did theater as a kid. I would
I
love
don't
to
think I knew
do a
that.
play or a musical.
Oh, please do it. And we will all come and cheer you on.
Okay. That would be great.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah. My friend Allison Duker, she does musicals, and we...
Here locally?
Yeah. Not so much recently, but she's the one that kind of prompted... We did something, it was at church, oh my goodness, probably 15 years ago. But I was like, oh, that was so much fun.
Do you sing?
Oh. In the group, I can sing.
With a cast
Not
of
by
characters.
myself.
Because you know where I was going with that. I was going to make her serenade us this morning.
No.
Do you like acting?
I love acting.
And dancing?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know
Yes.
this about you. Okay.
Absolutely.
So what happens when you become an empty nester? Suddenly you see a blank canvas to start creating again.
Yes.
That's how I define empty nester.
Exactly.
I don't look at it as a sad time. I look at it as kind of like you all are saying that you did a wonderful job for 18 years or more, and you're sending that little birdie off to become an adult.
Yes.
As we all were sent off
And to
at some point.
experience what we experienced,
That does not mean that they don't need you anymore.
No.
They always will.
Yes. Yeah. And it is so just lovely and heartwarming when they do say, hey, you want to go grab some lunch? Yes.
Yes. Say yes to those.
Yes, absolutely.
Say yes to the moments. I actually said that last Friday. I purposely did not do a show because my friend the day before, she was doing my hair and she's like, oh, what are you doing tomorrow at 7 a.m.? And I'm like, and she goes, oh, you're doing your show. Shoot, never mind. And I said, no. Suddenly God said, no, listen.
Yes.
And then say yes. And she's like, oh, I have this opportunity. There's a new Pilates place that's opening up in Chesterfield, but until they open, they have Cadillacs.
I saw your video.
Do you know what a Cadillac is? If not, look it up, everybody. Cadillac Pilates, it's the big apparatus. You all probably are familiar with reformers.
Right.
Or if you go to Pilates, then you understand the Cadillac reformer mat work. They're going to have pretty much the equivalent of 3 studios all within one place.
Oh,
but
wow.
these pieces of equipment are in this woman's home right now. So she had the opportunity to bring somebody, and we went, and it brought me back to a time that I love, which was whenever I dance, I do Pilates because it's a different style of training.
Okay.
It's not easy.
No.
People saw that. It looks fun, right? So that video you saw where we're suspended in the air, it looks fun. It's hard.
You probably were hurting the next day in places.
No, you know what? She actually asked me to text her and say how sore I was, and I was proud that I wasn't.
Oh, good.
I also was proud that I'm 15 years older than who was with me, and I stayed right there with her. But say yes to the offers, whether it's from a girlfriend or it is from a parent. Because again, although it seems like we have so much time on this earth, suddenly it's gone like that, and then your mind goes through all the times that you
Coulda,
didn't
shoulda,
say.
woulda.
Correct. Yeah. I told you when you first walked in here that we are taking my mom to Cabo,
Yes.
and it has been on my heart to go on vacation with my mom. It was going to, in my head, it was mother-daughter, but it's going to be me, Jim, and my
That's
mom,
awesome.
and then my brother and his fiance are going.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Make
that's
those
awesome.
make
Yeah.
those moments happen, by the way. Okay, so again, fill your cup. So I hope that your cup runneth over, that it is not that you are trying to fill your life from an empty cup, because you will be like a fish out of water, just like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And it can be scary sometimes, but yeah, remember to fill your cup. I like these that you've provided for us. These things that carry us through, whether you hang them in your home or you have them in front of you, you maybe put it on a refrigerator. It's these moments of, I do that in the evening. My gratitude, my intention in the morning, my gratitude in the evening.
Yeah.
And you start practicing those kind of things and watch what happens to your life. Maybe you need a little help from your spouse or a kid for you to actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
That every day is a gift.
And you know what I heard? I was talking with some coworkers this weekend, and we were just talking about different life, right? And Brene Brown.
Yes.
I referenced her because she did an interview, and they were talking about, like some days she might walk in and tell her husband, you know what, I've got 20% to give you today. And he's like, all right, I got your 80, you know? So yeah. And you know, like let people know how you're doing and because maybe they can be that other part for you, whether it's a spouse or a friend or whatever. But like, yeah, just we're meant to do life together. Even like with your friendship village that you, Garden View, I'm sorry. I had a friend whose parent recently passed away and he was there for you. But anyway, I love all them sitting around together.
I know.
Like,
well, because we're not good by ourselves.
No, we're not.
The mind is a scary thing that when we are isolated,
Yes.
depression and mental health
Yes.
issues take over. Yeah, that's why you've got this. And everybody you're going to hear from next week all said the same thing to us. I was like, what do you love about working here? What do you love about being here? Or what do you love about your parent being here? And they
Yes.
all said it feels like family.
yes.
And we need that. Yeah, we're not good alone at all. So, folks, Bridgette, again, telling her story. And if you are in that same season, you know, if you watch this later and you watch it on, you know, just do a little hashtag replay for us. Let us know. And then just say, oh my gosh, Bridgette, I'm there with you. I feel that. Or maybe you can take some guidance from her, of her and others saying, I love what my spouse and myself have done to get us ready for our kids' next phase of their life and where they're going with it.
Yeah.
Again, when you need that assistance, we're going to let her read instead of picking from our 100 Days to Freedom books. We're going to get Bravery from Bridgette in just a second. This is the information. I want you to reach out to Bridgette, or if it's someone that you know that needs that kind of assistance with expert legal nurse consulting services, you can go to childresslnc.com and let her help you through that. I'm looking forward. Do you want to give them a little background on our next month? You're bringing a guest in with us.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Susan Gallagher. So she is another nurse and she also does legal nurse consulting, but she actually has moved more into what we call nurse navigation. So she helps families navigate whether you have, a parent or just a family member going in, Alzheimer's, beginning of dementia, even just going through medication. But she helps navigate the medical system for people.
Wow.
Because, that again can be daunting.
Absolutely.
And you just don't know sometimes where to start. And even if you do know where to start, it can, snowball into something that's just like, wow. So yeah, it's always so great to work with other nurses in different capacities and, see what a difference in the community they're making.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give you the exact date, by the way. What you hear behind us is progress. So if you can hear that, they're just starting. It's a good time for us to wrap up the show. They are doing a lot of work here. So you are coming on in September
28th, I think it is, isn't it?
28th.
Yeah.
It
Medical Monday
is. So
Yeah.
September 28th, Bridgette will be back with us at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Great. Before we wrap up real quick, other comments that have come in. Julie said, I can sing in a group. That's
Okay.
me. All right, you're going to join our group. Rose said, my oldest moved out, Bridgette, years ago, and he still spends more time here. I don't think we'll ever be empty nesters, and that's okay. Our kids have loved hanging out with us. I suppose that's a compliment. It is a compliment. You've done good parenting. Sheila says, the nest is still full of memories, which means the decor is changing. The nest is still
That's
full.
good.
I'm turning 70 in November, Stephanie says. I've been thinking about my next chapter. Thanks, Bridgette and Monica. You got my brain thinking. And Rose says, my cup is never empty.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you, ladies. Absolutely. I love it as well. And Sheila said, I can't wait to meet you both for sure. I can't wait to meet you. Okay, I'm going to let you read for us.
Okay.
As we wrap things up, tomorrow, by the way, is a Wellness Wednesday, and we have both Exist Stretch and Spas and More being represented. We're going to meet Tim, who works at Exist Stretch. He's the one that has a little bit more of a massage background. So he'll be on with us. And Michelle Harmon, one of my best friends, coming in. She will be talking about, and I've been showing you the pictures of her spa, her hot tub that is being delivered. And it was a big project. I'm sure she has more footage that I have not seen yet, but you saw some of it.
Yes.
Holy.
She could put that, submit it to Funniest Home Videos.
Like, what the heck? But
Yeah.
they're doing an amazing job. I'll tell you what, there's
Yeah.
no job that they cannot do for you at Spas and More. So,
Yeah.
okay, we'll see that tomorrow.
And can I also say, if any of you guys want to get, I think this is still at Target, this book, and read along with me. Like, let's do this together. This
Is
next
it like
100 days.
it's each day that you open up?
It is.
Right?
Yeah,
So
I don't
100
know.
Days to Brave, Annie F. Downs.
Yes.
And you can get that anywhere?
Yes. Oh, there's the book. Yeah. I purchased mine at Target.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So.
All right, we are
Okay.
listening.
This is day 10. It's Your Feet is the title of the chapter. Whoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. That's from 1 John chapter 2, verse 6. She says, I sort of love my feet. Unlike my sausage fingers, my toes are pretty well shaped. I love getting pedicures, and in fact, I've been pondering what color I'd like to use, and I'm seriously considering a bright yellow polish color. I've wanted it for a while, but my friends have peer pressured me away from the last few times, encouraging other shades like various pinks. But I can't resist the urge for yellow anymore, and I'm choosing to view it as a brave color choice, okay? When I was a kid, I used to wear tennis shoes all the time. As a soccer player and a tomboy, I always picked them. Tennis shoes are a safe choice. They stay in place, unlike flip-flops, which can flip here or flop there. They're comfortable, unlike most high heels, and they last for quite a while. Actually, now that I'm thinking through it, I still really love them. Tennies allow us to do some amazing things with our feet, but one of the truest ways to glorify God with your feet is to lead. Lead people toward an abundant life and toward a real relationship with a real God. Lead people away from sin and choices that cause pain. Lead people with the way that you live. For many, leading anyone or anything is terrifying. For others, it feels natural, like the absolute best. But no matter how you're wired, using your feet to lead people takes bravery. In the long run, you need to remember one thing. Whether you're wearing bright yellow toenail polish, helping out an elderly neighbor by mowing her grass, or washing the clothes of street kids in India, you were made to walk like Jesus walked, to serve. Because of God's great love for us, we can love and lead others, and we don't have to be afraid. We can be brave. So take those feet and start walking and talking. Have the courage and let your feet lead you down the path that God has for you. And then at the bottom it says, be brave. What are some places where you are already leading? Thank God for them and ask him for even more opportunities.
I love it. And there's bravery in that today that you probably didn't even know that was going to be in there. And it made me just think of the song, These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Yeah. Get to walking, girl.
Get to walking. Right? Yes. Movement is key, by the way. So, all right. So think about that. Take that in, absorb those words. And then again, wherever you meet us today, just understand that you were meant to be where you are. I know it's hard for some people because they say, but why? I don't want to be where I am. I want to be here. So that means don't stay in the depression. Right. Whatever you have to do, surround yourself with people, feed off of their energy. If you have 20% and you have 80, we make 100% together.
Don't decorate your ditch.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want to start using that, by the way. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Again, Bridgette will be back with us at the end of September on a Medical Monday. Susan Gallagher? Mm-hmm. Okay. Susan and Bridgette together with us on September 28th. So look forward to that. From now till tomorrow morning, do us a favor and think about your bravery. Think about just how incredible you are. Believe in yourself and believe that you truly are a leader. One of the things that you can do, though, I did it just the other day when I was getting my nails done, when I was getting my hair done, is to compliment someone that you absolutely don't know. You have nothing to gain from it. They don't know you, so they know it's an authentic compliment. Do that, because that is how you spread kindness. Be kind, and God bless.
The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Kaufman Outdoors and The Porch in Wildwood.